Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know we're going to be a few minutes late starting. We don't have a quorum yet. We're waiting for one of our council members, Mr. Saunders. So be patient with us. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start our meeting tonight, I'd like to make a request that before the meeting is called to order, that you will please silence all your communication devices. And with that, the time is 6:10 p.m. on March the 5th, and I'd like to welcome you all to the City Council meeting for Los Banos. And at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. There's no invocation on here yet. Oh, sorry. And I'd like to call Charles Rideout from the Word of Life Church to bring the invocation. Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for another day. We thank you for the rain. We thank you for providing the resources we have for this city. I pray right now for this meeting that all through this meeting that you'll give us wisdom and discernment. I pray for these council members and administrators, all the staff, the people that are working towards this city, to build this city, to strengthen this city. I pray for our officers. I pray for our first responders. I pray for our construction workers and all the people of the city that are working towards the goal and to build a better Los Banos. I just ask, Lord, that you bring us into unity, that you give us the resources that we need, and that you continue to provide for this city and the growth of this city. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Amen.
Okay, and at this time, I'd like to ask Acting Chief Police Melton to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Sanders?
Here.
Chavez?
Here.
Lewis?
Here,
Hamabill?
and we have a quorum. Thank you. Item number 4, consideration of the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
And a second? It's been motioned by Councilmember Chavez and seconded by Councilmember Saunders. All in favor signify, All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion is moved. Okay, we have a presentation tonight. We have actually 2 presentations tonight. And Director Hines, could you come forward, please? And this is a proclamation for the recognition of Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of 1 million trees in Nebraska. And Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce erosion of precious topsoil, cutting heat, cooling cost, moderating temperature, cleaning the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And trees are a renewable source, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in the city of Los Banos increase property value, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas the city of Los Banos has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos do hereby recognize March 5th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Los Banos and urge all citizens to support efforts to care for our trees, our woodlands, and to support our city's community forestry program. Be it further proclaimed that all citizens are urged to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations. And thank you very much for all that you do for our city to make sure that we get trees planted and this Arbor Day celebration continuing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Would you like to say
I
anything?
just would like to add that Arbor Day celebration is this Friday from 4 to 6:30 at Meadowlands Basin Park, which is the large basin park just south of Pacheco High School. Thank you.
And our second is a certificate of recognition for Tricia Sova. Tricia. This certificate of presentation is for Tricia Sova, Administrative Clerk 1, Community Economic and Development Department, in recognition of her outstanding performance and dedicated service to the City of Los Banos and for being named Employee of the Month for the month of February 2025. Congratulations, Tricia. Item 6, public forum. Members of the public may address the city council members on any item of public interest that is within the jurisdiction of the city council, including agenda and non-agenda items. No action will be taken on non-agenda items. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes presentation. Detailed guidelines are posted on the council chambers information table. Is there anyone that would like to come forward and speak at the public forum? Could you state your name?
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members and staff and public. My name is Mary Hennis, and I reside at 1817 Spatafor Street here in Los Banos. Let me put my glasses on just a second. I'm here to tell you about a project that was recently approved by the Merced County Planning Commission. On Wednesday, February 25th, the Planning Commission approved the construction of a battery energy storage system, also known as BESS, 9 miles south of Los Banos. A group of concerned citizens made presentations to the Planning Commission not to approve the project, as the technology behind the storage system is still relatively new. Imagine, if you will, a fire similar to the recent Moss Landing fire happening 9 miles south of town. At the present time, our firefighters are not trained in this type of fire, nor do they have the proper safety equipment to suppress these fires. These fires cannot be put out with water. They require special products. Plus, the roads out to the 15-acre site are county roads, in unsafe or unpaved condition. During rainy seasons, as we had today, these roads would be nothing more than deep mud puddles, not able to withstand the weight of the trucks. This type of disaster could potentially have the same detrimental short and long-term effects on people, animals, and the environment as those now being experienced by the residents of Moss Landing and the surrounding areas. One thing I'm having trouble with is that no one in our city government claimed to know anything about this. The property is owned by AKT Development, whose daughter, Alana Kanalakis, is the current lieutenant governor of the state of California. Conflict of interest at its finest. We asked the commission not to approve the project in its entirety. Those pleas fell on deaf ears. Research has also found 10 more projects that are in planning stages throughout California. Some of those are located in right in our backyard, in Gustine, Lemoore, Hanford, and Fireball. To add insult to injury, all that power from these storage systems will be going to San Jose and not Los Banos. Let that sink in. 1 week after the devastating fire in Moss Landing, Assemblymember Don Adeas of Morro Bay introduced Assembly Bill 303, also known as the Battery Energy Safety and Accountability Act, which would impact the development of large-scale BESS projects. It is intended to improve the safety standards and restore local oversight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward and speak this evening? Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Lewis, Mayor Pro Tem, and council and staff. My name is Blanche George, and I'm a downtown resident. But I'd like to speak to you tonight on the fact that the 4th of July is coming very soon. And with that comes the illegal fireworks. And those illegal fireworks are hazardous and painful for our veterans, our seniors, and additionally other individuals like children, but also the animals, the pets, and also the wild animals. I'm asking the council to and the city manager to start formulating a plan of identifying those individuals that live in the areas that they are producing these illegal fireworks. They are hazardous in whatever neighborhoods they are, wherever they're storing these illegal fireworks. They could be next to you. I have experience with that because in Merced there was a situation where a house exploded. I happened to be just around the corner, and I was hosing off a firefighter's home that happened to be behind this home. But with this, if you guys, there are just detailed plans about educating the residents on what is illegal, what is not when they hear it, what are the procedures of calling. Because we know that we can't entirely stop this, but I know that you guys have known, everyone has known in the city of Los Banos for years, it gets pretty bad. And it's starting to even get even bad during other holidays and during even birthday celebrations. So for the protection of the residents and the animals of Los Banos, if there could be a start of a plan. Thank you. Thank you. And respectfully, there is a plan. No one's neglecting it, but we can always do better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward and speak this evening? Seeing no one else coming forward, I'd like to ask Madam Clerk, were there any submissions to you?
Have
No.
received no comments.
Okay, no comments. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 7, consideration of the approval of the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be voted on in one motion unless removed from the consent agenda by a council member. And Madam Clerk, can we move forward with the consent agenda?
Items on the consent agenda are as follows. Warrant numbers 249957 through 250351 in the amount of $1,509,163.42. City Council Resolution number 6893, amending Division 4 salary schedule, employee classifications relating to changes to Section 4003, Section G for the police sergeants. City Council Resolution number 6894, approving and adopting final map number 2015-01, South Point at Regency Park, Phase 11A, and accompanying subdivision for Stonefield Home Inc. And the items are to be approved as submitted.
Thank you very much. Is there any item on the consent agenda that any of our council members would like to pull for either discussion or a separate vote? Seeing none, then I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Can I have a motion by Councilmember Chavez and a second by Councilmember Saunders? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 8, public hearing. If you challenge the proposed action, as described herein, court, you may be limited to raise only these issues you or someone else raised at the public hearing described therein or in written correspondence delivered to the city at or prior to the public hearing. Item 8A, public hearing to receive public comment and consideration of an annexation of approximately 170 acres to construct a basin for the purpose of surface and stormwater capture as well as incidental groundwater recharge. As part of the project, a general plan amendment is proposed to change the land use designation from agriculture/rural to civil/institution to reflect the intent use of the site as a public water management facility. Additionally, the property is proposed to be pre-zoned as public facility to align with the planned use. The project site is located in Merced County Assessor's parcel numbers 082-020-024, 424-010-004, and 073-220-014. Excuse me. The ordinance number 1207, amending zoning map to pre-zone approximately 140 acres located between San Luis Reservoir and Santa Fe Canal. San Luis Canal and Santa Fe Canal, Merced County, California, from the County General Agriculture A1 to Public Facilities PF to be annexed into the city of Los Banos. Okay, and with this, there will be a second reading of the motion, and after the second reading, there will be a roll call for adoption. So I will turn this over to Director Elms.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Lewis and council members. So as you may recall, on February 19th, the Los Banos City Council held a public hearing and adopted resolution number 6885, approving the annexation of approximately 170 acres and a general plan amendment redesignating the property from agricultural rural to civic institutional for the Old Santa Fe Grade Basin project. So staff is asking that the council would waive the second reading and adopt ordinance number 1207 to amend the zoning map and to pre-zone approximately 170 acres located between the San Luis Canal and the Santa Fe Canal in Merced County. This project is necessary to help facilitate the city's GSP, groundwater sustainability plan, which includes our water conservation programs. With all of the many benefits that this project provides to this city, annexing this property into this city would allow for our local jurisdiction to regulate our own permits as we move forward with that project, with the storm basins. So that concludes my report. I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions of Mrs. Souza before we move on to the public hearing? Not, okay. At this time, I'll open the public hearing, and if anyone has any a statement, please come forward to the lectern. Seeing no one coming forward, I will close the public hearing, and at this time, I will entertain a motion for the second reading of the ordinance.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the second reading of ordinance number 1207.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Saunders and a second by Councilmember Chavez. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So moved. And now we'll entertain the adoption of the ordinance.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 1207 as read by title.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Yep, second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Saunders, second by Councilmember Chavez. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Sanders?
Yes.
Chavez?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Amabil?
Motion is passed. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item number 9, the consideration of adoption of the City Council Resolution number 6895, authorizing the interim city manager to execute addendum number 1 to the lease agreement between the City of Los Banos and the Central California Irrigation District, otherwise known as CCID, for the addition of solar lights along the HG Fawcett Canal Trail. And I will turn this over to Director Hine.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Lewis and City Council. Tonight, the item as mentioned is about solar lighting along the canal trail. As you all are aware, the HG Fawcett Canal Trail runs from Pioneer, weaves all the way down to I Street. It's a very popular trail, and it began with a lease agreement that was signed in 1996 with the Central California Irrigation District, CCID. The lease agreement was renewed, and it's been renewed through 2029 at a rate of $1 per year. On September 20th, 2024, the city pursued a grant available for $125,000 towards the completion of the project being solar lighting along the entire length of the canal trail. The grant was offered by the San Joaquin River Exchange. A contingent of this grant was the approval of CCID to be able to install those solar lights, as it is still their property, and that's what the item is tonight. The item tonight is an addendum to the contract to allow the use of premises to include the solar lighting as well as the operation and maintenance related to them. We selected solar lights as a good grant application for this project due to the reduced implementation costs relating to electrical, as well as just generally speaking, the ease and the installation costs of installing lighting along the trail. The installing electrical, for example, would involve trenching throughout the whole distance of the trail and add quite a bit of expenses to the project. In addition, of course, solar does provide lighting without connection to the power grid, and allows for just ease of installation. Lighting in general was something that was identified and evaluated during the parks master plan process. It was one of the most requested items. We have installed solar lighting on a much smaller scale at several of our parks. The largest implementation was at Veterans Park, where we installed quite a few lights throughout that park on a more regular basis. We've installed them through quite a few parks next to playgrounds as security lighting. These solar lights would be up to the city to construct and install. The staff is anticipating about another $175,000 to complete the trail, so approximately a total project budget of $300,000, with $125,000 of that $300,000 being provided by the grant. And I would just like to personally thank Chris White of the San Joaquin River Exchange for this opportunity to be able to pursue this grant. In addition, he's just been very easy to work with, very easy to communicate with, and on CCIDs. And I've had very good communications with Jared Martin, so I thank him for his support. The next steps, if this item should be approved tonight, would be to present that to the CCID board. And then from there, it'll be a bidding process and construction. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Heim. This item is not a public hearing. It is a report out from staff to council, and then we will move forward with a motion. So with that, are there any questions from council regarding this project?
Does the grant cover the whole cost of it?
No, so we anticipate the total project budget to be about $300,000, and the grant would cover about $125,000 of that.
So 175 is coming from.
We aren't requesting that funding tonight in the appropriations, simply because we don't expect the project to begin before July 1st. So we'll be making that request during the fiscal year 26 budget process. And we anticipate that Measure H is probably the best candidate for funding out of the Parks and Rec allocation.
Okay.
And I do have a couple of questions. The lease that we have with CCID is only until 2029, which is 4 years from now. I guess my question is, are there any concerns that perhaps they won't renew the lease with us? Because initially the lease was 25 years, and then it was reduced to 10 years. I don't know futuristically whether they're not going to go 10, 15 years or back to 25, or if not at all. And then the city will be making these expenditures, and we don't own anything after that. Will those, if they're giving 125,000 towards this project, so that means there's roughly, based on your estimate, 175,000 that the city has to come up with out of Parks and Recreation and Measure H. And here we are, we're kind of like scrambling to try to find money to work on Colorado Park. So back in 2021, when there was discussion about the parks plan, how did this canal get included in what we would do with our parks?
Yeah, so I guess to answer the second question, then I'll answer the first. The second question being how is the canal trail involved with the Parks Master Plan? It's considered a park just like any other. The fact that it's a lease, it doesn't change that. Similar to Officer Noah Jones Ballpark, which is owned by the county. It was included in it for evaluation. So we received quite a few comments about the trail itself, as well as the rail trail, as well as just lighting in general. And so that's really where the background on that is. And to answer the first question, which essentially is we don't own this property, so what is the future risk of this project in relation to that? Of course, I can't speak to the future of relationships and with this property. However, I will say that I do anticipate this relationship on this trail to continue, primarily because, one, it's been a good relationship. It's been a successful partnership in terms of working with CCID on this trail. In addition, it's something that I think is mutually beneficial. Of course, we maintain that trail for them, and that would be something that they would need to then maintain their property for. And I think that there is quite a bit of public support for the trail. In terms of the history of why it went from the initial lease agreement was 25 years. I believe that expired in 2019, and then it was renewed. So I wasn't involved in the second process. However, just reading the staff reports from previous rounds, it sounds like the contract had expired in 2019, but it wasn't renewed until 2021. And so it sounds like there may have been just some slips as far as getting that contract renewed. And that may be where that 10-year aspect was being driven was, hey, we're 2 years behind. This wasn't done right. We're going to give you a 10-year until to 25 years. That's my assumption based off the staff report that I read. But in terms of what the next contract might read, that's going to be independent of this. I can't speak to what that is. I think from the city's standpoint, from what I've heard from the public, it seems like it's something that it is an ongoing relationship that we would like to keep. We have made previous investments into the trail, of course, tree planting, but the footbridge comes to mind as a project paid for by the city that was installed along the trail and added to the contract. So this would be similar process as that, but of course I can't speak to the future.
Yeah. And of course, our contract with the county for the Noah Jones Park is a lot longer in duration than 4 years. And I would hope that with the money that has been granted to the city to do this project, or at least to help do the project from the San Joaquin Water Exchange District, that there is some future hope that it's going to last longer than 4 years. One of the things that we don't have anything to, well, let me say this. I assume that you're going to when you come back to us, we'll have something more of renditions as to what this project's going to look like. I would also like to add that we need to be mindful that we have residents on that canal. A lot of their bedrooms are facing that canal, and the lights that are chosen need to be in such a way that it's not harsh in color, too bright, and that there's no light pollution into their residence. So I hope this project turns out to be a positive one for the city, and that the relationship for the renewal is long-term with CCID. Okay, and with that being said, if there are no other questions, I will entertain a motion for this project.
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 6895 as read by title.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by City Council Member Chavez and a second by Council Member Saunders. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, item number 10, consideration of adoption of City Council Resolution number 6896, rescinding City Council Resolution number 6678 as it pertains to Division 1, Section 1019 of the city's Policy and Procedure Manual regarding at-will middle manager. And I will turn this over to Director Melanie.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. Attached, please find a resolution for your review and consideration of approval that would rescind the resolution that Councilmember Lewis just spoke about. A little bit of background. On September 6th of 2023, the City Council adopted the resolution that made the middle managers hired or promoted into their positions on or after September 1st, 2023, designated as at-will employees. The current City Council now desires to rescind that action and to effective immediately the middle manager positions designated as at-will will no longer be designated as at-will. And they will be in turn subject to the probationary periods from date of hire or promotion as required by the personnel rules. This change will affect 13 middle manager classifications and will help greatly with recruitment and retention of this vital group of employees and also foster a healthy and positive work environment. These senior level staff members serve as program managers for key city programs, and their successful performance is essential to conducting city business and providing vital services to the public. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you. And before I move to questions, I'd like to ask if our interim city manager has any additional report.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Tonight, excuse me, government code requires that before taking final action, the city council must orally report a summary of the recommendation regarding the salary schedules or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits of a local agency executives. Therefore, I am reporting the following summary regarding such items appearing on item number 10. Excuse me. Item number 10 pertains to final action by the City Council of Los Banos regarding the recommendation to approve changes to assistant department heads. Assistant department heads constitute local agency executives. They are required by job description to serve in the absence of the department head. The changes are as follows. Number 1, effective February 16th, 2025, middle management positions designated as at will upon hire or promotion into this position on or after September 1st, 2023, will no longer be designated as at will. Employees will be subject to probationary periods from date of hire or promotion as required by personnel rules.
Are there any questions we can address?
No questions from council? And this is not a public hearing. This is a staff report and set up for adoption by council. So with that, I will entertain a motion for resolution number 66778.
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 6896 as read by title.
66.
Oh, excuse me.
6678.
68. Yeah.
Sorry, 6896,
Six-
rescinding 667.
Okay. Go ahead.
I got it, right?
You got it.
Let me do it again.
You had it.
All right, 6896.
Okay, we have a motion, and do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Chavez, a second by Councilmember Saunders. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. Item number 11, consideration of adoption of City Council Resolution 6897, amending Division 5 Personnel Benefits as it pertains to Section 5007, Peace Officer Standard and Training, known as POST Certificate, incentive pay, and Section 51111, administrative leave and management and middle management employees. And I will turn this over to Director Melanie.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. So this item, kind of like the one just before, is one that amends the personnel rules to maintain parity throughout the city's police department workforce. Staff is requesting changes to Division 5 of the post pay by increasing the caps for post incentive pay as follows. Increasing the post advance certificate from $225 to $400 per month, and the post supervisory certificate from $275 to $500 per month. And that will currently only affect the police chief. And the other request is for the unrepresented non-sworn personnel to increase the post-intermediate dispatch certificate pay from $50 to $75, and the post-public safety dispatcher supervisory certificate from $75 to $100 per month, and then allowing for $100 per month for post-record supervisor certificate, not to exceed $275 per month for all three certificates. And these certs currently affect the police services manager and the dispatch supervisor. And then the other item is to increase admin leave for management employees, increasing it from 10 days to 12 days. And for middle management employees, increasing it from 5 days to 6 days.
Okay, thank you very much. And to our interim city manager for his oral report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54-953, subsection 7.3, which requires that before taking any final action, the City Council must orally report a summary of the recommendations regarding the salary schedules, or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits of a local agency's executives. Therefore, I am reporting the following summary regarding such items appearing on this agenda item. Item number 11 pertains to the final action by the City Council of Los Banos regarding the recommendation to approve changes to compensation for department heads and assistant department heads. Assistant department heads constitute local agency executives when they are required by job description to serve in the absence of the department head. The changes to compensation are as follows. Number 1, effective February 16th, 2025, certificate pay for a police chief who possesses a Peace Officer Standards and Training Advanced Certificate will increase from $225 per month to $400 per month. Number 2, effective February 16th, 2025, certificate pay for a police chief who possesses a Peace Officer Standards and Training Supervisory Certificate will increase from $275 per month to $500 per month. Number 3, effective February 16th, 2025, management leave for department heads will increase from 80 hours per year to 96 hours per year. And number 4, lastly, effective February 16th, 2025, management leave for assistant department heads will increase from 40 hours per year to 48 hours per year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you very much for the report. And this also is a report from staff and a resolution for adoption. It is not a public hearing. Are there any questions from council members? Okay, and with that, I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 6897.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 6897 as read by title.
Thank you. And can I get a second, please?
Yep, I'll second that.
Yes, we have a motion by Councilmember Saunders, a second by Councilmember Chavez. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. And item 12, appointment of members to the following commissions. Okay, the first one is the Airport Commission. And we have one 2-year term vacancy expiring December 31st, 2026. And Larry Leonardo has been appointed to that commission. And I need a motion to accept this.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion, and do we have a second? Motion by Councilmember Chavez, a second by Councilmember Saunders. All in favor by signifying by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So carried. So congratulations to Larry Leonardo. And the second one is for Measure H Citizens Oversight Committee. We have 3 2-year terms, and they expire December 31st, 2026. The appointees are Kathy Ballard and Refugio Yames. And with that, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to appoint these 2 members to the Measure H Oversight Committee.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And a second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Saunders, a second by Councilmember Chavez. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion has been carried. And thank you very much. Thank you, Kathy, for applying, and thank you for Refugio for applying for the commission as well. Okay, and we'll move on to item 13, which is advertisement of public notices. We have none for this evening. And item 14 is our city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. First off, I'll get some of the mandatory stuff out of the way. This is a report regarding executive compensation as required by the government code. In accordance with the City Council action on February 19th, 2025, meeting where the salary ranges were increased for department heads. This is to report that the Human Resources Director's salary will be increased to $15,145 monthly or $181,740 annually, effective February 16th, 2025. I'll keep it short otherwise. I appreciate Joe's comments about Arbor Day. I was going to say it, and I'm assuming some others will, but come out and see us at Arbor Day. We get to plant a bunch of trees and hang out with the community. It's a good day to ask us about anything that's on your mind. You can come by and do that. You can stop by City Hall and talk to me if you want to. We'll try and make some time for y'all. Otherwise, I appreciate all the things that staff does for us and the council, and I think that'll be it for today for the sake of time. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And we'll move on to item number 15, council member reports. And we'll start off with council member Marcus Chavez.
Yeah, I mean, as far as what's been going on lately, as far as myself, we've been interviewing for people for Metro H, which we just appointed, which is great. Mayor Amberville and Pro Tem Lewis, we had visited Camarena Health. That's a nice facility. That's great for the community. Hopefully it's very successful. We were able to meet with the CEO, and also we spoke with Jerry, or I met Jerry from Chamber of Commerce. Very nice man. Joe, congratulations on the pickleball court. We all made it out there. You got the council, you got the mayor, you got us all out there. So that was great too. I think on Saturday as well, I think the developer and the mayor had met with people at the mobile home park with the tiny homes deal, and he said it was good conversation, and a lot of things got cleared up. So that was good to see him go out there with the developer, which is great. This last week we appointed a couple people new to the planning commission. So congrats to Trisha's gone, but yeah, then we got a couple people there, McBride and Stephen Noon. So welcome them aboard. I think they're at training currently right now, so that's a great deal. And I think Evan did some reading at Grasslands. I'll be there tomorrow reading to the kids. So, getting out there and getting to interact with the kiddos. So that's good. I want to thank, Mr. Gary Breezy, our city manager, as well as, Chief Meldon, code enforcement, and all the stuff that's been going on. They've been calling them up, and there's been different things, and they've been on it, and they've, been getting things sorted out. So thank you guys for all that stuff. And other than that, had a meeting with Viri Renteria from Peninsula Energy, and she was able to sit with me and somebody else and kind of visit on, how they review the bills, and I had opted out originally, and they showed me, took the time with bills and try to figure out, does it make sense to be with them, PG&E, does it work out? And it was pretty insightful. Learned a lot. I actually ended up opting back in. So if anybody's interested, I think they should reach out to Vidi or anybody from Peninsula and get that looked into. The way things are going, anything you can save is definitely a plus. So, all right. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Commissioner, I'm sorry. Councilmember Saunders.
First, I'd like to apologize for being tardy today. Your time is valuable, and it won't happen again. I talked to Mayor Amabile about his visit at the mobile home park. I also called Chandra, the manager, this morning just to see how she feels about it. It sounds like she's happy with how things are going, but we definitely have some things to address as it moves on. I just want to make sure that I want to make sure that everybody knows I'm committed to making sure that both the mobile home park and everybody around that where the ERF project is going. I think we need to all remain committed to make sure that everybody feels safe and heard to address their concerns as this goes. And I know that everybody up here is. I drove by the homeless encampment on the way out here. It looks like it's getting a little better. I know these things move slow. I know Gary is doing a lot with different teams in the city to make it better, but things move slow in government. So I'm hoping that it gets better, but I know that we were kind of handed a tough situation over there. But I heard that stray dogs are picked up and that trash is being picked up more often, so that's a good start. I do want to comment briefly on the South Point development that was in the consent agenda. I don't want to hold anything up that's moving because I know this has been going on for a long time, but I do think we should consider in the future shifting more towards medium density housing for future developments. The small lot sizes that we see in these new ones, which South Point is definitely one of these, has a lot of challenges for the community. Parking shortages, overly crowded streets. In my opinion, the layouts like this take away from a lot of the benefits of single family homes, and they don't provide the advantages of thoughtfully designed multi-unit housing, such as condominiums or 4 and 6 plexes. Like I said, I'm not looking to slow down development that's been in motion for years, but I think it's something that we should probably talk about for future developments like this. I want to plug Joe's meetings on the Colorado Ballpark. March 8th at 1:30, March 11th at 6 o'clock, both at the community center. That's a Saturday afternoon and Tuesday evening, so kudos for 2 different times that are for totally different people that are in town. And then also the Arbor Day, I'll be out at the Arbor Day at Meadowlands Park, and also at the Milliken Museum's Pancake Breakfast at the community center from 7 to 10. I'll be there for a little while. So if you see me, say hello. And then I guess just we had a couple of comments. I think it'd be interesting for this BEST project because I've heard scuttlebutt about it on Facebook. If we could get Paul or somebody from the fire department just to, if there is a concern, to say something about it, I think it might benefit the community because I haven't heard anything from the fire department, so I assume that it's okay, that they're not worried about it. But it'd be nice to hear from him. And then as far as the fireworks thing goes, that's a great point, and it's something that bugs me every year. And I don't know if there's anything that we can do about it. I know every year I call about fireworks in my neighborhood, and I can point out the houses that they're coming from, and it drives people nuts, but it seems like there's nothing you can do unless somebody on PD sees somebody setting off fireworks. So if there's anything that we can do, Gary, I know you're in a great position to maybe help with that. That'd be awesome to try to mitigate that this year. And that is all from me.
Thank you very much. And with my report, I'm going to start off with the Air Board. Some of these things you may or may not understand. I'll try to make them as simple as possible. But the Air Board increased its grant for low dust harvesting for our farmers from $150,000 to $250,000 per piece of equipment. And this is for nut tree farmers and how they shake and harvest their crop in order to produce less dust in the environment. So that has increased, and for a lot of farmers, especially smaller farmers, it's going to help them be able to harvest their crops. And a lot of it depends on the size the tree grows and the distance in which it's planted. So a lot of our older farmers who still use the belt shaking process, these new harvesting equipment won't help them because a lot of their trees are planted too close together. I had the opportunity to go out with the Air Board to a farmer in the Fresno area to watch this process. And what it is a machine that goes down the middle of the row, an arm grabs it, it shakes the tree, but instead of the nuts falling on the ground, it falls into a trough and it goes around in a circle, and then it drops on the ground so that nuts aren't, kind of strewn all over the place. They're in one area where the farmer can pick them up, and it's, as I said, less dust flying around. And there are pros and cons against that with farmers. Some like them spread out because it dries out the nut better than having it clumped together. But this is the direction things are going in California, so we're trying to help the farmers be in compliance with the laws that are being passed by the legislators in Sacramento. The other thing I'd like to report out for the Air Board is that the Valley Air District met its annual PM 2.5 standards with EPA last year, which is the first time we were able to do it, so it's a big congratulation. And in short, what that means is that the PM 2.5 is a measurement of different particles of pollution in the air. So we were below the standard that the federal government has set for the state of California. So that was a good thing. I just want to thank our staff, all of our staff, even those that are not here tonight, from administration to every line staff that we have, for the hard work that they have been doing to help us as we are transitioning here in the city of Los Banos with a multitude of things that are going on, things that are behind the scene, things that the public can't see. I just personally, and I'm sure the board, the city council members will agree with me, to thank them for the hard work that they do, unrecognized a lot of times. And so to everyone that sits up here, that helps our city go day by day, and the work that is entailed in keeping the city going. Thank you very much for what you do. Just a couple of other things that I failed to mention. We do still have a few vacancies left. Measure H has one vacancy left that expires December 31st, 2026. And we have a vacancy in Measure P that also expires December 31st, 2027. That's Measure H was first, Measure P is second, and the other one is Measure V, as in Victor. There is a vacancy that expires December 31st, 2026. And we have 3 vacancies available on the Tree Commission, all expire December 31st, 2026. So for those that are listening by YouTube, on the television, and those who are present, please, if you are interested in serving on any of our commissions, please put your application in and you will be considered for it. And I want to thank everyone who serves on commission because they don't get paid to do that. It's a volunteer of service and love for the city. So thank you to all the members who are serving on commissions as well as our planning commission. Well, I'm trying to, thank you. So with that being said, I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 7:06 p.m. and thank you all for attending tonight.